Hello, JCI leaders. I'm 𝗡𝗄 𝗬, the Deputy Head of JCI Women in Leadership Commission. Today, we are speaking to you live from New York, the United Nations, during the 70th Commission on the Status of Women. This is the first interview as a part of a series featuring inspiring female leaders organized by JCI Women in Leadership Commission with support from the Marketing Committee as a part of the JCI Talks series. It is my great pleasure to interview a very inspiring lady from Africa, Asmaa Benslimane. Asmaa is a Moroccan leader with a strong trajectory in international cooperation, impact initiative, and women's leadership. She served as the national president of JCI Morocco in 2011 and later as the JCI vice president in 2013, working with several African countries. Today, she is also actively involved in initiatives such as Women Africa and Ports for Impact Foundation, promoting inclusive development and women's leadership across the Africa. Asmaa, it's a great pleasure to have you with us today. You have had a remarkable journey in leadership, from national president of JCI Morocco to vice president working with several African countries. What first inspired you to step into leadership and public engagement?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Rico and Georgina, for inviting me to this interview in this very beautiful and inspiring premises of the United Nations. What inspired me? It was actually a very serious illness. I was ill when I was 30, and then when I saw many doctors, they said if you want to heal, you should leave your passion. At that time, I have no idea about my passion. So I started thinking, and I thought to myself, maybe public service can be my passion. I joined 2 or 3 organizations, and then I discovered JCI by accident, almost by accident. At that time, in 2008, Morocco hosted AMDEC North. There is no AMDEC now in JCI because it's an old formula of national presidents' meetings, but it was by region. So Morocco hosted on March 2008 the AMDEC North, and President Roland Koeman was at that time the chairman of the AMDEC. And I attended this event, and then I was inspired by his energy, his vision about leadership through service. And also I attended some trainings, JCI trainings, and I was really inspired. And from that time, I never stopped serving through JCI in different roles, and that's what made me now here in UN. Thank you.
As you say, today we are here at the United Nations, the CSW70, discussing women's leadership at a global scale. So from your perspective, what are still the biggest barriers that are preventing women from accessing the decision-making process?
There are many barriers until now. First, I can say the gap between rights on paper and real access to justice in everyday life. Also, we can say unequal access to economic power. And you see, you can be leader, but if you don't have resources and you don't have network, you can do nothing. So you should have resources. Also, technology and digital transformation. And if you see the program of CSW70, especially the parts of site events, you can notice that many site events talks about digital transformation and how it can help women access justice. I can give you a small example. For example, in my country, justice now is being digitalized. Justice now in my country has introduced digitalization in their procedures. Imagine, for example, if women can't use digital means, how they can access to justice. Also, the last barrier, important barrier, is the representation at the top of the decision-making hierarchy. So, if I take, for example, the example of blue economy, because I'm here representing WIMA Africa, which is a federation of women working in blue economy, such as ports, fisheries, and all sea-related activities. We have only 100% of women who are working in, who are holding leadership positions in this blue economy. Otherwise, we have women in lower positions. So, underrepresentation if in decision-making process is also a serious barrier. Blue economy is an emergent sector. So if we exclude women from this sector, it's like if we transfer inequality to the future. So women should be present not as beneficiaries, but they should be present as decision makers, as experts, as people who make decisions, who change this sector, not only being beneficiaries from programs or such programs, for example, for supporting women. Yeah.
That's great. You work with a lot of these organizations across the Africa. What specific challenges and opportunities do you see for women leaders across the African continent?
Yes, across the continent, we can see underrepresentation in top level of decision making. Also, unequal access to opportunities, especially economic opportunities. We can say also access to financing, because in blue economy, for example, we can find small projects held by women, but when they ask for finance, banks generally ask for guarantees. So it's not possible for all of them. So, how we can support these women? We can also support them by financing, and to let them be entrepreneurs and create a change in this field of blue economy.
Just to go a little bit further on that, people like the CSW would bring together leaders from the government, civil society, and international organizations. So in your opinion, how can our global cooperation accelerate the progress for women's leadership?
Yes, a platform like CSW70 is very important because it brings governments, academia, civil society, and every stakeholder who is interested who is important in the women condition. But if we can, for example, move from declarations to real impacts on the field, it would be interesting, because sometimes if we just stop at the level of declarations, we will not have impact. So we should have impact by collaboration at the international level. Also set up, for example, mentoring system, mentoring for women. Also system of financing, how we can create mechanisms to support women entrepreneurs in many fields, and also create real impact through this gathering, not only limit ourselves in the level of declarations.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then today, many young women across the world are watching conversations like this. What advice would you give to the next generation of women leaders? So you served as the JCI Vice President in 2013 under the leadership of JCI President 𝗡𝗲𝘄 another female leader. So looking back, what did your experience within the JCI shape your vision of leadership, and especially in female leadership?
Yes, I was very fortunate to work in 2013 with 𝗡𝗲𝘄 as world president and Rania Haddad as EVP for Africa. What I learned from this very inspiring women, that leadership is not about titles. It's about making impact, serving the community, and really creating network and making space for others to grow. What was really also the other message is women don't need to change herself to be a leader. In the contrary, women have many qualities like compassion, like resilience, that are really qualities for leadership. So these women were very successful in their mandates because they were leaders, and they knew how to be a leader in order to federate all JCI members around them and inspire them, and also push them to create impact. I learned a lot from the two ladies, and I'm saying hello to both of them from here, and thank you for everything.
That's amazing. So passing that spirit forward, what advice would you give to the next generation of women leaders?
So my advice is to live your passion first, then believe in yourself. Don't wait for others to believe in you, then you believe in yourself. Also work on yourself, train yourself, be mentored, ask for advice either to other women or men, and also try always to ask yourself what impact I want to do, and what impacts I'm supposed to do through my actions. This is my advice.
Thank you. If you could imagine a world in 20 years, what change would you most like to see when it comes to women in leadership in 20 years?
In 20 years, I would like to see every girl in this world growing without any limits to access leadership. Also, if we can do that, we can have, for example, in each top management in every organization, 50% women and 50% men. That would be okay, because what we are asking now as women, it's not to take the men places, but just to be equal, just to have 50-50. It's not to take their positions.
Thank you so much, Asmaa, for your inspirational sharing with us today. Your journey is a true inspiration for our JCI network globally. Thank you again for your time here with us today. On behalf of the JCI Women in Leadership Committee, thank you so much. And thank you for being here with us here today, JCI leaders. See you very soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all what you are doing for women in leadership in JCI, and I hope that all women leaders in JCI can be interviewed, so they can inspire other women in all countries. Thank you very much again.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Asmaa. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. We'll see you in the next episode soon. Thank you.